Oh my god. I I literally just finished reading the chapter and I immediately had to hit record. So this isn't going to be the most processed, well thought out review or anything like that. This is just going to be my completely off the cuff thoughts, but this was an absolutely insane chapter. Like holy shit. Like what a way to come back from break. This was fucking wild. So Oda does this thing. I don't know if it was just the formatting. I read this one on TCB, and I don't know if it was just the formatting where like the first page of the chapter, it's like almost like a little like shot of the last scene for the last chapter from a different perspective, you know, and then it goes into like the introduction. There's no cover page here. So yeah, like I wonder if this is a new thing that Oda's trying out or anything like that. Not really sure, but so fucking the art in this chapter is incredible. Like all of Gaban's like attacks are just so well drawn. Like Oda clearly has been waiting to draw Gaban in action. Like it's clearly you can see this is like what he's been really excited to draw. And this is definitely why he needed the break week, is to draw these specific shots, because the way he draws Gaban like fighting is incredible. Anyway, like I'm just scrolling through the chapter right now. Like so he incapacitates Sommers. It's based on things in the ending. I'm gonna say like Sommers is gonna be back pretty immediately. But so there's like a line here early on where early on in the chapter I'm very interested that Chopper is the one that's like so fascinated by how he did the technique. That's surprising to me. Wait, where does he say he goes like I'm a little rusty or something? Uh, yeah. Usopp's like, how did that work? What did you do? And he goes, I'm rusty. Like, so it's clearly there's a specific technique that I know Morge was saying this has his own theories. I don't know if Morge is 100% correct, but he's like seems fairly like on the right direction at least with that. So there's some sort of technique there. It is weird that like Jinbei was like, stop it, Robin. These Iron Thorns are a terrible matchup for your hand-to-hand combat style, when it's clear that Robin does not. I don't really like fully understand Robin's powers. Like, clearly she does not have a hand-to-hand combat style, right? It might be a translation thing. I wonder if it is, because like Robin's fighting style is completely like she can create limbs like from distances, right? So I don't know. It could be a translation thing there, but this is pure nitpicking because this chapter was absolutely incredible. Yeah, so it seems like they're burning the library, but I think there's enough time. It seems like especially with Killingham shooting the arrow at that one building, fairly like it seems like I still think there's time like for like Jinbei or someone else to come in and like quench the waters before like the bulk of the stuff is destroyed. I would say. So I think we're like probably okay on that end. Yeah, so obviously we get the whole situation. That was so fucking funny when it was funny and like heartbreaking at the same time when Gaban shows up and Gaban's like, don't give it away, Colin, don't give it away, Colin, don't give it away. Innocent Colin's like, Dad, that's my dad. And like Gunko immediately picks up on what's going on and immediately lurches at Colin, it was simultaneously hilarious and like sad because of how like tense the situation is, so I was a bit confused at what Gunko was doing exactly to Gaban. I think, yeah, so what I gather is that I think Colin, I mean, Gaban saw future sight of Colin getting killed from this, and that's what caused him to give up, not just the pain that Colin was experiencing. Yeah, that seems to be the case. So that's how I'm going. as I'm going through it, and God, fuck, it's so heartbreaking. Where he's like, I know I can do it. I know I can do it. I just need a few more seconds of time, and he doesn't. He chooses his son like over that. He's like, if he would have had a few more seconds, he could have done it, but he gives up. And like, God, Gaban's such an incredible character already, just from like the little we've seen of him so far. And then he gets shot down, and his last thoughts are, "I'm sorry, Colin. I know this must have hurt real bad. I'm sorry." And it's not last thoughts. Like, I'm pretty sure, knowing Oda, that he's, not dead. That's just Oda's way. That's the way the news goes with One Piece. But God, it's just so good and so like crushing, even if I know it's not going to be the actual end for the character. But then we get into like, so Gunko seems to have sort of these like PTSD flashbacks that's like creeping back in over. It seems like her memory's completely been corrupted and erased, and they're sort of creeping back, and she's remembering crying for her dad, who seems to be Brook. I don't know for sure. Maybe she was separated from her father and then taken in by Brook, but it seems like an older Gunko is crying father, and we see a little Gunko with Brook. So it seems like the order of operations is the inverse of that. So it might be that Brook's her father, but I could also see it being like Brook took her in after she was separated from her father or something like that, or was like a mentor figure to her. So that's, we now know like something about the connection between Gunko and Brook. And she has like a sudden realization of what's going on. She gets clarity back, and she starts charging toward Brook, and she has to like reunite with him. And God, she's stopped in her tracks by Imu, who seems to, that he can, it seems like, all these, there's might be some sort of like deal with the devil kind of thing going on with all of these Holy Knights, where it's like, if you pledge yourself as a vessel to Imu, you get granted immortality. And based on like we get two really panels of Gunko's flashes, which it seems like it's not necessarily, she didn't really end up in this circumstance willingly, or maybe she chose it so she can one day meet Brook again. Like, who knows? We really don't have enough information yet, but God, like she's like running and she's so close, and then cuts and Imu possessed. So it seems like he can take control of them as like vessels at any time. We see Sommers, already going ouch, and it seems like who is able to hear this voice, I think, is just appearing in, I don't know if it's that Gunko is being is a vessel and is talking, Imu is talking through her, or he's like in all of their heads right now. It's unclear with the way the paneling and the bubbling is done, exactly what's happening there. I'm confused about Imu's dialogue, where it says, "What is with all of this commotion? The Holy Land is currently in a sea of flames, thou seems to require additional military force." I wonder if it's another translation thing, and I need to read the official on Sunday, but the Holy Land is currently in a sea. Like, is he talking about, like, Mary-Joie, or was, like, Elbaf the original Holy Land or something like that? Like, what is this implying? It might be a translation thing, but he says, "Thou seems to have additional military force," implying that he's talking about them. Or is he saying that we, like, is the translation a little rough, and he's saying we need additional marriage? So what are you doing here? You got to come back. But then Imu versus Mu will show the dominion of God, like, and the crackling with Haki, like. It's really like unclear what's going on, but it's absolutely insane chain of events. God, like Elbaf's just escalating, and there's so much here in each chapter. It's just drenched with stuff, and now it's like we're already at this. Like, did we really think we'd get there this quickly from the start of Elbaf, like a fun adventure arc, and we're already at like toward the end of Egghead Stakes? Like we're really in the end game of the series. I also thought it was really fucking funny. I did not think Oda would get into more detail about this, but it's really fucking funny seeing like Ripley on the birthing bed with fucking Gaban, and he's like just further nailing that in the coffin. But God, like I know this Gunko Brook backstory is going to fuck me up, because if we get 2 panels and I'm already emotional just from the 2 panels, I'm like, oh, this is a Kumabani shit. Like, this is some Kumabani shit already, I can tell. God, I am so, One Piece is back. I am so fucking excited. I'm like, every time I read a chapter like this, I'm just reminded like how fucking lucky I am to be reading this as it's coming out and finding out as it's coming out and not getting this spoiled, because it's like it's just the greatest story ever told, just being like laid out before us week by week. God, it's so unbelievably amazing. I really do feel this is a chapter that I'm going to need to read the official translation for, because there's just stuff I'm unclear on. But wow, I'm gushing. I'm like there are parts of this that I'm tearing up, like a lot of stuff with Gaman, and like even the 2 panels we get of like Gunko. They're like, there's so much here as I just scroll back and forth through it. God tier chapter, 10 out of 10. Oda is absolutely cooking. I am so excited to read more. God, I think that's my initial brief thoughts. I know this was a little off the cuff and rough, but had to get them out right away. So, bye bye.